check. 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3. Here we go.
This is HBU Huskies men's basketball. HBU basketball is a presentation of the Husky Sports Network in conjunction with the Legacy Sports Network and is brought to you by the corporate partners of HBU Athletics, including Houston Federal Credit Union, the Memorial Hermann Healthcare System, Pepsi, Geico, Raising Cane's, Kolache Factory, and IBEW Local 716. Right now, it's almost time for your HBU Huskies to take the court, so let's go courtside for HBU Huskies men's basketball.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome into the Sharp Tank on the campus of Houston Baptist University. Sharp Gymnasium, the home of your HBU Huskies. And the site of our game tonight, the season finale, the home finale, the wrap-up to the 2017-2018 season here against the Texas A&M Corpus Christi Islanders tonight. And the Huskies are going to try to play spoiler tonight for Texas A&M Corpus Christi and maybe make another team or two happy trying to make it into the Southland Conference tournament this week. That won't be the Huskies' fate this year. The season, one of those rare times we know, comes to an end at the conclusion of this game, no matter what, win or lose. The Huskies struggling through the freshman year of a lot of new faces and a lot of talent on this team, but without Josh Ibarra since the 9th game of the year, the Huskies have been without that big presence in the middle and have struggled at times, and right now come into this one with 2 conference wins on the year's 15 losses. They had a close game on the road on Wednesday night in San Antonio, but fell to the Incarnate Word Cardinals as the Huskies fall on the road 83-71 and had a pretty good first half, struggled in the second half, were unable to come away with the victory. That would have been their 3rd in the conference season, but tonight they can try to win against a Texas A&M Corpus Christi team that comes in at 7-10 in conference play. And right now, after the way things have shaken out this afternoon, are in need of a win tonight to put them in a virtual tie with Abilene Christian and McNeese State to and by virtue of the tiebreakers, earn their way into the Southland Conference tournament as the 8th seed. So a lot for A&M Corpus Christi to play for tonight. Consequently, that means there's a lot for the Huskies to play for tonight. And so we will keep an eye on that aspect of this contest. It's also senior night for a couple of guys. Will Gates Jr. finishing up his HBU career. Tim Miles, who was a grad transfer this year, has one season under his belt, but he will be recognized tonight for his contributions to this 2017-2018 season. And we will see them honored here on the floor. We'll also, as just a means of reminding you or letting you know in advance here, coming up at halftime tonight, we got a chance to chat with both Will and Tim. And so at halftime, you'll hear their thoughts on this season and what they look for in their days ahead. But let's get things going underway. We've got our visit with assistant coach Keith Berard to focus our eye on the opponent tonight. And then we'll chat, as we always do, with the head coach Ron Cottrell. That'll lead us right up to the starting lineups and the opening tip and take us into the final game of the 2017-18 season. And it all gets going right after this on the Huskies Sports Network.
Let Houston Federal Credit Union be there for all the stages of your life. Take advantage of our products and services to help you with all your financial milestones, such as purchasing a car, buying a home, and planning for retirement. We're the credit union that will always have your back and helps you save money along the way. Houston Federal Credit Union is the official credit union of HBU. Experience the credit union difference today. Stop by any of our convenient locations or visit our website, houstonfcu.org.
The body is incredibly powerful. It's so nimble and fluid, but sometimes we push it too far. That's when you need the strength of Memorial Hermann and our body of affiliated orthopedic specialists. With our renowned Ironman Sports Medicine Institute, they not only get your body back to where it was, they get it to go further. It's what makes us more than just hospitals. We are a body of experts. Memorial Hermann, advancing health.
If Raising Cane's one love was rock music, they would rock harder than any rock band ever. Their tours would sell out before they were announced. Their backstage parties would be the stuff of legend, attended by unicorns and the head of Louis XIV. Hotel rooms would trash themselves out of respect. But Raising Cane's one love isn't rock music. It's making the perfect chicken finger meal every single time. Raising Cane's one love.
But what about you? When you text that really cute guy you met at a party on Friday, and he immediately texts you back, you celebrate with an ice-cold Pepsi. Sounds good, doesn't it?
But why stop there? The refreshing taste of Pepsi is the perfect way to celebrate anything. Like when you and your roommate order a pizza and the delivery guy throws in extra breadsticks, no charge. That's worth a Pepsi celebration. Break out the Pepsi.
This is the HBU Husky Sports Network, powered by Legacy Sports.
We're back on the Huskies pregame show, just about set for our game against the A&M Corpus Christi Islanders tonight, and looking at the opponent with assistant coach Keith Berard as we get ready, coach, for the season finale. This is one of those rare times when we know going into a game that it's the last time we're going to get to chat for the season. And thankfully, that has not been too often the case in our years here at HBU.
Exactly. It's not a good feeling. But at the same time, I'm proud of the way that these guys, they kept with it and the way we played throughout the season. They've stuck together. So it's just going to, help us out in for the future.
Yeah, and considering some of the adversity as far as the injuries and illnesses during the season, I mean, the flu kind of swept through this team for a couple of games, a couple of weeks. And then the youth of the team, it's probably been a growing experience this year for you.
Yeah, it definitely has, especially with the freshmen coming in and the amount of playing time that they got this year. So that, again, that'll help us out definitely going into the future. And, with the returning guys that are coming back, again, can't say enough about it, the way that we gel together. I mean, off the court, on the court, these guys are great with each other.
As we speak here, getting ready for this one tonight, we just learned that the way this thing shakes out tonight, this is a must-win game for A&M Corpus Christi. And so it gives you guys a little added incentive to kind of be a spoiler to finish out this season.
Yeah, definitely be it's a great opportunity for us to go out here tonight, finish it up on our home floor and to get the win. And like I say, be a spoiler. And maybe that'll give us a little momentum carrying into next year.
And when you really don't have anything else to play for, it kind of gives you that playoff mentality going into a game like that.
Yeah, and again, definitely for us, we don't have anything to play for, but at the same time, we are playing to start looking forward to next year. It's for us to start getting better. This year win can help carry us into the off season, and now that'll make those guys go even much harder.
Yeah. A&M Corpus Christi, though, they're a team that's struggled this year. When we played them before, though, they got out to a big lead, and we almost dug our way completely out of the hole in that one. Came up just a little bit short in OT. It was an interesting matchup. This is a team that I guess you've got to feel like you can hang with throughout the game.
Exactly. And the thing is, we can't dig ourselves into a deep hole like we did out there at their place. I mean, you're down 20, and to try to come back. And the way we did it, I mean, the guys, again, credit to our guys. They fought the entire game. But it's tough when you're down 20 like that to try to dig out of a hole and make that comeback and try to finish it off. So, Corpus, they have some good pieces over there. I mean, Joseph Kilgore he did an excellent job against us. Kareem South can shoot the ball, and then Sean Rea down in the post, along with Schmidt. Those guys, they play hard. They play well together and they play hard. So, we just have to come out and, get out of our mind. Don't put any extra pressure on ourselves. Just go out there and play basketball.
All right. Well, appreciate all the visits this year, and looking forward to better days ahead.
Oh, yes, sir. Appreciate you, Lonnie.
Keith Berard, assistant coach for the Huskies, will take a timeout and come back with more on the Huskies pregame report.
The real story is I'm in here every morning and have sampled just about every kolache that they make here.
Bacon, egg, and cheese on wheat for me, and then the rest is for the office. So, yes, I'll pick up every Friday. I'll stop by here and pick up some for my group. So.
Well, I used to think it was just fruit-filled stuff, and then I came here, and there's eggs and bacon and cheese and all kinds of good stuff in there. It's like a whole breakfast and a bun. It's great.
It's always a good thing if you can eat healthy and not know it.
When you drive down the street looking for something to eat, you're going to pass 5 places to buy a sandwich, 6 places to buy a burger. There's only one place you can get a kolache, and that's Kolache Factory. It's delicious. You're going to have people that try to copy you, but they're not going to do it as well. We know what we're doing. We've been doing it for 25 years. We do it the best, and our success proves that.
Houston's own Kolache Factory, the freshest, highest quality, best tasting kolaches in town. Over 50 Houston area locations and a proud partner of HBU Athletics.
This is the HBU Huskies Sports Network, powered by Legacy Sports.
Back on the Huskies pregame report, it's time for our game time chat with the head coach of the Huskies, Ron Cottrell, in advance of our game tonight against the Texas A&M Corpus Christi Islanders. And Coach, thinking about this a little earlier, there's always kind of a bittersweet feeling, mixed emotions at the end of a season. You're kind of focused on what lies ahead, but it's also kind of hard to watch the season come to an end.
Yeah, it's kind of an unusual situation. It hadn't happened, thankfully, very many times in my career where you knew your season was going to come to an end at the end of a ball game. I mean, typically we're going into playoffs, and you never know when your season's over and when your last practice is and your last shoot around with guys and all that. So this is a little bit unique, thankfully so, that we're in this position, that we haven't had it happen this many times. But, senior nights are special nights to be able to look back at guys' careers, particularly Will's having been with us for so long, and even Tim. I mean, we recruit Tim out of high school, known him for a long time, and so to see him be here and be able to finish his career here is special as well. But the emotions are certainly different on senior night for everybody concerned, not just the seniors, but the rest of the team wanting to do well for those guys this one last time.
You mentioned Will and Tim and their recognition here tonight, the two guys that will be done after this one tonight. Interesting to me that, they both thought about coming here out of high school, and fate kind of took them a different direction, but they both wound up here, and they both seem to be happy and think this is the right place to wind up.
Yeah, that's kind of how recruiting goes sometimes. You go after guys, and you feel like they're the type of people who fit in your program on and off the court, and the classroom, the culture of your school, and all that. And there's a lot of people tugging at guys and wanting them to go and be a part of their programs as well. And both those guys had opportunities that they thought at the time would be good situations for them, and we kind of finished second in both of those recruiting situations. But after a year or two of kind of seeing what it was like elsewhere, they decided that maybe HBU was the right place for me all along, and we were able to work it out where we could get them here, and thankfully so. We were happy to have both those guys in our program.
Well, speaking of recruiting, your focus, I'm sure, will turn again to that here very shortly.
Yeah, I mean, recruiting is one of those things that never ends. I mean, it's a consistent deal that's going on all the time. I mean, we never really stop recruiting. So we've got people on campus constantly doing visits, and we'll be out doing a lot of stuff here in the spring, a lot of tournaments and things to attend to.
A&M Corpus Christi tonight. they've had kind of an up-and-down season as well. Talk about what you expect to see from the Islanders here in this finale.
Well, they're playing for a possible chance still to go to the tournament, and so they're going to come in ready to play. I mean, they're going to be playing at the highest level and really focused, and they're a team that, obviously they jumped out on us early at their place and had us down 20, 21, something like that, and we have fought our way back and took it to overtime, and they're just like so many teams in our league, very athletic, guys who can really, really score the ball, and you have to do a good job of defending. But they're also a really gritty, hard-nosed defensive team that's really going to be a team that if we don't execute well and we don't rebound, they'll make you look bad real quick. And so we've got to play all facets of the game at a very high level tonight.
But as always, it's nice to have a Saturday night in Sharp Gym.
Absolutely. I mean, we talk about this all the time. Our fans are terrific, and Sharp is a special place. It's really unlike almost any place in college basketball, the type of environment that Sharp creates, just because it is intimate and small and the fans are right on top of the action. And so we're always happy to be back in Sharp Gym, that's for sure.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Ron Cottrell, the head coach of the Huskies. Take a timeout and come back with all the starting lineups and play-by-play after this on the Huskies Sports Network.
You're listening to Love Advice with Leanne. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Leanne. Longtime listener, first-time caller. Why, in your professional opinion, do you never take my calls off the air?
Is this Carl?
Yep, it's Carl. I mean, we had a few dates. Everything was great. I thought,
Well, when you switch to Geico, you could save a lot of money on car insurance.
Okay, awesome.
You should call them.
I will.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Building Houston to compete on the world stage is what we do at the IBEW. It's important to us that Houston knows why we do what we do, not just what we do. Sure, we're the best electricians. We train 10,000 hours to be the best. But we get up early so Houston is built to compete. To be the best, hire the best. Skilled labor isn't cheap, and cheap labor just isn't all that skilled.
The time is now to hire IBEW electricians.
The real story is I'm in here every morning and have sampled just about every kolache that they make here.
Bacon, egg, and cheese on wheat for me, and then the rest is for the office. So yes, I'll pick up every Friday. I'll stop by here and pick up some for my group. So.
Well, I used to think it was just fruit-filled stuff, and then I came here and there's eggs and bacon and cheese and all kinds of good stuff in there. It's like a whole breakfast and a bun. It's great.
It's always a good thing if you can eat healthy and not know it.
When you drive down the street looking for something to eat, you're going to pass 5 places to buy a sandwich, 6 places to buy a burger. There's only one place you can get a kolache, and that's Kolache Factory. It's delicious. You're going to have people that try to copy you, but they're not going to do it as well. We know what we're doing. We've been doing it for 25 years. We do it the best, and our success proves that.
Houston's own Kolache Factory, the freshest, highest quality, best tasting kolaches in town. Over 50 Houston area locations and a proud partner of HBU Athletics.
This is
Are you a graduate of Houston Baptist University? Did you know the value of your degree increases when you actively participate in the HBU Alumni Association? Your Alumni Association actively supports the growth, retention, and ranking of our school by our scholarship efforts. Husky Alumni Network volunteers actively work to recruit the best and brightest to HBU, and we promote and support programs intended to build a growing network of people committed to quality, higher Christian education through our alumni scholarship efforts. We also work to strengthen the bond between our university and the community, and we're your connection to over 18,000 fellow alumni, mostly in and around the Houston metro area. Log on to learn more about our mission and your privileges and benefits at hbu.edu/alumni. And find us via social media on Facebook at the Houston Baptist University Alumni Association page and on Twitter and Instagram at HBU_alumni. But no matter how you do it, connect with the HBU Alumni Association because a strong alumni base equals a strong HBU.
This is the HBU Huskies Sports Network, powered by Legacy Sports.
And the streets of our national anthem bring us back into Sharp Gym here, just about set for tonight's opening tip-off. Glad to have you along for the ride tonight, wherever you are around the city of Houston, across the state of Texas, around the country, or even around the world on the World Wide Web. Thanks for making HBU Huskies basketball a part of your Saturday night or Sunday morning experience, wherever you may be. Well, just about set for this final game of the 2017-2018 season. Certainly not the way the Huskies thought this thing might shake out this evening, but an opportunity to finish up on a positive note. And the starting lineups are being introduced in the arena here tonight, so let's take a moment and introduce them to you. First of all, for the visitors from the Coastal Bend down in Corpus Christi, the Texas A&M Corpus Christi Islanders send out this starting five tonight. First of all, a sophomore out of Spring, 6'8" forward Elijah Schmidt. He'll be joined by Sean Ray, one of a pair of twin brothers here, a freshman, 6'7" out of Porter, Texas. His brother Dion Ray, not in uniform tonight, so we'll just see Sean tonight, and he will get the start for head coach Willis Wilson. They'll be joined by Miles Smith, a 6-foot freshman out of Klein High School here in the Houston area. And Joe Kilgore, another Houstonian, leading scorer on this team out of Decaney High School, a 6'5" senior. And rounding out the starting five will be the 6'2" redshirt sophomore from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Kareem South. That's the Texas A&M Corpus Christi Islanders under head coach Willis Wilson. He's assisted by Marty Gross, Mark Danhoff, and Terry Johnson. They've got a 10-17 record for the season, 7-10 in Southland Conference play, and they need a win tonight to qualify for the Southland Conference tournament next weekend. They'll be going up against your HBU Huskies tonight, and here is the starting lineup. You've become familiar with these guys this season, and it includes the two seniors tonight. First of all, starting at the post, the big grad transfer from Rancho Cucamonga, California, Tim Miles gets the start, 6'6", and adding 15 blocks this season in the 21 games he has participated in. He'll be joined by Will Gates Jr., the redshirt senior from Selma, Texas, out of Clemens High School, the son of William Gates Sr. Will celebrate it here with his family tonight before this game, and he will get the start at a guard. They'll be joined by the Carolina connection, David Caraher and Ian DeBose. Caraher, the 6'6" freshman out of Chapel Hill. Ian, the 6'3" freshman out of Durham. And rounding out the starting five at the point tonight, the redshirt junior from Nashville, Braxton Bonds. We're just about set to go. The Huskies are in the home whites tonight. They're wearing the 80s era uniforms with the Huskies in blue script across the front, the little wave underneath, the flourish, blue numerals, orange trim, the old-style running dog on the side of the shorts. Tim Miles is going to jump it up against the blue-clad A&M Corpus Christi Islanders. And Ray jumps it up. He wins the tip. And Kilgore controls, and we're underway. Glad you're along for the ride tonight. Kilgore for the Islanders, moving right to left here in the first half in their road blues. DeBose picks up Kilgore. He still penetrates right side, floats it off the window, won't go, and the rebound is going to be bumped away. Knocked out by Ray as Braxton Bonds got underneath and tried to carry it off the window and back the other way. Caraher will get it into Bonds. Here come the Huskies up the floor, moving left to right here in the first half as you look on and listen in. DeBose has it, top of the arc, left to right across the top. Gets it to Bonds, feed it down low into the blocks to Miles. Turnaround, off the back iron, shot won't go, and the rebound's going to be tipped out of bounds. This one knocked out by Miles. And both ends of the floor, we see a couple of missed shots and tipped balls on the rebound, and we go back and forth with still no score on the board. Just underway, 19-18 to go here in the first half. Kilgore will control out top, feed it off to South. He's going to drive in left side, goes off the glass And they're going to get Ian DeBose for the foul right out of the gate. Ian with his first, team's first. And it'll be a shooting foul as South was headed to the rack. Didn't get the shot to go, but he'll get a pair of free throws here. And the first one is good. Kareem South on the season, an 83% free throw shooter. He's been to the line 55 times coming in to the evening tonight. Now 56 and 57, and both of them go. Elijah Schmidt got up there and almost touched it while it was on the cylinder, but held off, and both free throws go. It's 2-0, first score of the night. Gates, right side, gets it out top to Bonds. He looks inside, but goes right behind him to Caraher. Back to Bonds, drive the baseline, feed it in the post to Miles, and Tim tried to go up. Defender got his hands up. I think that was Schmidt who got the hands up and forced Tim to rethink his move, and then he shuffled the feet in the process, turns it over, and gives it back to the Islanders. They're up by 2 as they head back up the floor. Kilgore again in control, takes it to the middle himself, floats it up with the right hand. Nice little Euro step in the paint, and he got it up in, and it's 4-0. Caraher back to Bonds, thought about a 3, right side, back to DC5. He will take the 3 and drain it. Ice water in the veins for the freshman out of Chapel Hill, and he's got his first points of the ball game. Ray on the baseline now will back in on Caraher, spins around, shot off the iron, won't go. Miles clears for the Huskies, off to Bonds on the run. Caraher going to fly in left side, and he's hit, knocked to the floor, has it knocked out of bounds. Caraher's up quickly. I think he's going to be okay. It's always a little iffy when you watch him fly down into the aluminum on the baseline there. There's some stairs going up into the seats there. Caraher will go to the free throw line, though, with a chance to give the Huskies the lead. First free throw is good. You know, if you followed us all season long, free throws have been a struggle at times for the Huskies. 62.9% shooting from the line as a team. They've done better lately, though, and Caraher hits them both to start this one out. First 2 free throws of the night for the Huskies. We roll under 18 minutes, and the first lead of the game belongs to HBU at 5-4. Here's a pass inside. Smith has checked in for the Islanders. Miles Smith, the freshman. Kareem South puts up a free throw line jumper, won't go, and Caraher runs down the loose ball. He'll get it off the Bonds. Brax will bring it up across the timeline, left side angle. Calls the play in the half court, sets up Ian DeBoe's right side. Out top to Tim Miles for a 3 from the top of the arc. And the crowd goes wild. Tim, you will hear him tell us at halftime in our chat with him, stress that offense has never been his focus. He prides himself on defense, and there's a tip and a steal and knocked out of bounds off of the Islanders. The Huskies are playing this one like this is their tournament. 8-4 Huskies out of the gate with the early lead. Will Gates out top. Dribbles right, takes it back to the middle, stops in the free throw circle, off the iron, won't go, but Bonds with the board. He'll kick it back out and take it out top of the arc. Leave it for DeBose. Weaves his way back to the right angle. Take it down right side, cross court. In the low blocks to Miles. Put it up off the iron, and it rolls around. Tim's got 5, and the Huskies are up by 4. Check it, 6, 10-4. 16:33 to go. Kilgore to Ray, Ray to Smith, and Smith will drive in, has it knocked away, and it's out of bounds off of Smith. He lost control. Quick hands by Tim Miles in the middle there, and he knocked it off the knee of Miles Smith, and the Huskies get it back. A couple of turnovers on back-to-back possessions for the Islanders, and the Huskies looking to take advantage of it. Here's Caraher, top of the arc, 3, short, rebound tipped. Going to be controlled by South for the Islanders. Off on the run himself. Bounce pass on the baseline to Ray, and he walked. Traveling call on Ray, and he'll turn it back over. So now 3 in a row that the Islanders have gone up the floor without getting a look at the rack. Carraher, left side angle. Goes out top to Braxton Bonds. Bonds dribbles to the right angle. Now he's going to penetrate. Leave it on the baseline for Carraher, and we've got a travel called on Carraher. That one's a little iffy. He did not have control of the pass. And he's trying to talk to Raymond Ships, one of the officials, on the baseline about that. But the call goes against the Huskies. It's a turnover. Stops the clock with 15:42 to go. And brings us to our first media timeout of the evening. Huskies out quickly. 10-4 is the lead on the Huskies Sports Network.
Houston Federal Credit Union has it, and it's packed with free services like mobile banking with person-to-person transfers and mobile bill pay. And Houston Federal Credit Union is a proud supporter of HBU athletics. So stop by their office at 6808 Bentliff Drive and experience a better way of banking. Visit HoustonFCU.org for more information. Houston Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of HBU.
Houston Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA.
We're passionate, delivering expert neurological care for adults and children. We're dedicated, responding to neurotrauma and stroke with Lifelight in our Level 1 Trauma Center. We're persistent, restoring lives at our Tier Rehabilitation and Research Hospital. We are Memorial Hermann. And we're making neuroscience breakthroughs every day.
Three of 6 shooting from the floor early in this one for your Huskies. 1 for 4 from the floor for the Islanders. 3 turnovers as well for Corpus Christi, and the Huskies have a 10-4 lead. Islanders with the basketball. Ray goes out on the wing to Smith. He puts up a 3. It comes up short, and the rebound pulled down by Bonds for the Huskies. Up the floor, across the timeline to Carraher, and gets it right back. Right side angle, DC5 going to fire up a 3, and he finds the bottom of the cords. And he's feeling it early here. He's got 8 already, and the Huskies are out to a 13-4 edge. David, one of the leading scorers in the country as a freshman. He and DuBose both having very good freshman seasons. Here's a feed down low to Ray. It's blocked by Miles, but they're going to call Tim for the personal. His first, team's second. 14:57 to go, and it'll send Sean Ray to the free throw line. About to check in for the Islanders for the first time tonight. Colin Hale. Willis Wilson talking to him. The first free throw is off the mark. Hale checks in. Schmidt will get a breather. Ed Hart has checked in, and Tim Miles is going to get a rest. The old man, father of 2, goes to the bench after a good start for the Huskies. He's got 5 points as he takes a seat. And Ed Hart, the junior from Mesa Community College, the transfer, checks in for the first time. Second free throw good, 13-5 as Bonds drives in. Won't go, but the follow put back up and in by Ed Hart. Drops it down through with a gentle touch, and the Huskies are up to a 10-point advantage here early on. 14:36 to go. Smith to the right baseline, drives in, has it stripped away by Will Gates and taken away by Ian DuBose, and Ian's going to be fouled in the backcourt by Joe Kilgore. His first foul, second foul on Corpus. It'll be Huskies basketball in the backcourt. Huskies are attacking the basket early tonight offensively. And the adrenaline is pumping. You can tell from the shooting percentages here, they're feeling pretty good. There's a pass intended in the paint for Hart, and it's tipped and stripped by Colin Hale. He's off on the run, left side, going to get it to Ray on the baseline. Bounce pass down low into Smith, puts it up, trying to go up over Gates, won't go, but follow tips up and in, and the lead is back down to 8. Good second effort by Miles Smith. Got the bucket there. 15-7 Huskies. DeBose back the other way for the Huskies. Off the window, count the bucket, and he's fouled. Ian DeBose on the left baseline. Nice penetration move. Draws the foul. Let's see, it's on Kareem South. First foul on South. Will Gates is going to check out. Gives away to his younger brother, Jalen, who checks in for the first time tonight. 17-7 as Ian DeBose goes to the free throw line. Ian, for the season, a 63% free throw shooter. Been to the line more than any other Husky this year. 147 times now. That one rams out, though. And we'll head back the other way. Still a 10-point advantage for HBU. Hale right side. Backs out behind the arc. Gets it to South left angle. To Miles Smith. Smith down to Kilgore. Kilgore drives in. Walk, no call. Floats it up with the right hand. Got the little teardrop to go through. And he's on the board with 4 now. The Huskies are up by 8. Hart tries to go in, put it up, partially blocked, but Braxton Bonds there for the putback, and he takes them back out to a 10-point advantage. First points of the ball game for Bonds, and the quick answer the other way. Put in by Colin Hale, I believe. Let's see. Yes, he got the jumper, his first 2 of the game. We got a whistle down on the offensive end for the Huskies. Sean Ray draws the personal foul. Team's 4th. And it'll send Braxton Bonds to the free throw line. Perry Francois takes off the warm-up. He's going to check in. Braxton Bonds will get a free throw first. And Brax drains the first one. Francois with his first action of the night. Ray is going to check out for the Islanders. Bonds with one more at the line. 60% free throw shooter, but gets them both here. Takes the Huskies back out to a 10-point advantage. After the made free throw, Braxton will take a seat. Oliver Lynch Daniels checks in for the first time tonight. And Smith brings it up across the timeline. Goes to South, right side angle. Finds Francois as they play out beyond the arc. Smith to Kilgore. Look for Hale. Right angle. Hale gives it to Kilgore. Down to 8 on the shot clock. He's going to just fire away from the angle. Won't go, and Hart grabs the rebound. Settled for a shot there. And the Huskies come away with the miss. DeBose drives in. Leave it for Hart, and he misses. Can't finish, but Carraher cleans it up. Well, Ed was about to wear that one if it didn't get finished off, but DC5 gets his bucket and has 10 now. And it's 23-11. South with the dribble, left side angle. Going to take it in. Cut off as he goes to the baseline by Oliver Lynch Daniels and draws a turnover, a travel called on South. With 12:05 to go, here come the Huskies again. 5 turnovers now here in the first half for the Islanders. Here's Jalen Gates firing away at his first 3 of the night. Won't go. Off the back iron, and the rebound pulled down by the Islanders. On the run, Hale to South. Floats it up. Won't go. The tip follow. Won't go either. And Jalen Gates off with the board for the Huskies. He's going to pull up top of the arc. This time he got it. Gotta love Jay Gates if you're an HBU fan. He has the quickest trigger in the conference. 26-11. He's got his first 3 of the night. 15-point advantage for HBU out of the gate here. 8 minutes in. Here's Kilgore over to Bose, who fell down. The shot won't go, though, and the rebound tipped right back to Ian. Up on the run. He's going to float it up. Blocked, and it's going to be tipped by Carraher, controlled by Lynch Daniels, and we're going to get a foul called on Kareem South as the Huskies hustle and get the board. And maybe a little frustration showing for the Islanders early on here. Brings us to another timeout on the floor. 11:07 to go here in the first half of play. The season finale is off to a great start for the Huskies. 26-11 on the Husky Sports Network.
If this one doesn't get your toe tapping, check your pulse. You may be dead. Here it is, coming to you in living cola. Refreshing Pepsi Cola. From the wonderful folks who put the in cola. I'll be signing off now, because it's my bedtime. I'll catch you on the flip side. Be there.
The good news is America is coming back. More jobs, more building, more of what makes our country great. And more cities and towns, more small businesses and big corporations are choosing the highly skilled, highly trained members of the IBEW to do the work. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is committed to doing the job right, on time, safely. America's making a big comeback, and the IBEW is proud to do our part.
Huskies still up over 50% shooting from the floor to start this thing. 9 of 17 tonight. They're 4 of 6 from outside the arc. Also 4 of 5 from the free throw line, but they throw it away here. Jalen Gates on the inbounds play trying to get it to his teammate Braxton Bonds, and Braxton took off toward the baseline, and Jay threw it behind him out of bounds, and that is the fourth turnover for the Huskies. 5 right now for A&M Corpus Christi here early on in this game. Kilgore with the dribble, pulls up at the left elbow, goes to Ray, who's checked back in the left corner. He finds Smith inside the arc. He'll pull up and pop, won't go, and the rebound tipped out of bounds off of Francois, and the Huskies will have it. Philip McKenzie is checked in for HBU, and he will inbound it to Braxton Bonds. Gets it up ahead to Lynch Daniels on the baseline. Kick it cross court into the corner. Jay Gates off the mark. The rebound will come off to Miles Smith. Long outlet up ahead to Kilgore. Right side. He's going to drive in. Float it up. Short. Won't go. Hart gets the tip. Ball. McKenzie tipped it away and Hart controlled it. Off the Bonds. Back to Jay Gates. One step inside the arc. This jumper won't go. The tip put up by Bonds won't go. And the rebound loose on the floor. And it's going to be wrangled in by Joe Kilgore. Rolling down to the 10-minute mark here in the first half. Kilgore swings it out on the wing, out top. Hale gets it back to Miles Smith from the left angle, and Smith ends the drought for A&M Corpus Christi. He hits the three, and he's got 5, and with 9:48 to go, Huskies' lead is down to a dozen. Miles about to check back in for HBU. McKenzie on the left angle, out top to Ollie Lynch Daniels. Ollie looks inside, tries to go right and has it knocked away. Taken down by Kilgore, one-on-one against Bonds. He goes up and floats it in off the glass. Rolled around the iron but decided to go down through. And the lead is down to 10. Caraher up off the bench now. He's about to check back in for the Huskies. Bonds out top. Picked up by Kilgore. They're going to let him fire a three, and Braxton drains it. He gets it to go. That is good to see. Braxton struggled early this year from the three-point line, but he's heated it up a little bit lately. Season numbers aren't going to be beautiful from the three-point line for Braxton, but the finish is going to be nice. 29-16. Here's Ray into the paint. Turnaround over McKenzie, and he got it to go. A little bit of a size mismatch there. And Ray takes advantage of it and gets the turnaround off the window. Jalen Gates back the other way. Spins it up. Won't go, but Hart gets the rebound. He's going to be fouled. I think this is going to go against, thought maybe Hale, but I think instead it's going to go against Sean Ray. No, it is on Colin Hale, excuse me. 6th foul on the Islanders here. Hart and McKenzie will check out. Jalen Gates will as well. Caraher, DuBose, and Miles back out on the floor. 4 of the 5 starters are out there right now. Will Gates remains on the bench. Ollie Lynch-Daniels still out on the floor. Huskies have 3 freshmen, junior and a senior out there. Lynch-Daniels into Miles. Miles back out to Bonds. Feed it back into the post. Turn around in the paint. Won't go. The rebound is taken by Schmidt, and Miles is going to be called for the personal. Roland Simmons with the call. Veteran Southland Conference crew tonight. Raymond Ships, Roland Simmons, Kelly Hunt. Guys we've seen around the conference over the years, so they're familiar with both these teams. 29-18 is our score, 8:05 to go. Ray going to face up over Caraher from the right baseline. Drains a little 15-footer over Caraher, and it's down to a 9-point lead. DuBose will come right back, tries to answer from the angle, won't go, left side. And a long rebound comes out to Lynch-Daniels, so the Huskies will get another look. Bond's going to drive in, dishes it out, open on the wing for a 3 is Ollie, and he got it. Lynch-Daniels with his first points of the ball game, and the Huskies are back up by a dozen. 32-20. Kilgore's going to fire a 3 from the left angle. Schmidt can't control, but he tips the rebound out top to Ray. Almost stolen by Bonds, but Ray controls. And now it is tipped and stripped by Bonds. He tried to knock it up the floor, and it's going to be Huskies basketball, says Raymond Ships. As Kilgore went to the deck, good hustle by the Dekaney High grad, but he couldn't come up with it. And it'll stop the clock with 7:13 to go. And the Huskies have a 12-point lead. Whoa, catch your breath, folks. 32-20. We'll be back after this timeout on the Husky Sports Network.
The real story is I'm in here every morning and have sampled just about every kolache that they make here.
Bacon, egg, and cheese on wheat for me, and then the rest is for the office. So, yes, I'll pick up every Friday. I'll stop by here and pick up some for my group. So.
Well, I used to think it was just fruit-filled stuff, and then I came here, and there's eggs and bacon and cheese and all kinds of good stuff in there. It's like a whole breakfast and a bun. It's great.
It's always a good thing if you can eat healthy and not know it.
When you drive down the street looking for something to eat, you're going to pass 5 places to buy a sandwich, 6 places to buy a burger. There's only one place you can get a kolache, and that's Kolache Factory. It's delicious. You're going to have people that try to copy you, but they're not going to do it as well. We know what we're doing. We've been doing it for 25 years. We do it the best, and our success proves that.
Houston's own Kolache Factory, the freshest, highest quality, best tasting kolaches in town. Over 50 Houston area locations and a proud partner of HBU Athletics.
Huskies basketball out of the timeout as they bring it up, leading by a dozen. Braxton Bonds has it, right angle, out top. Caraher goes to DuBose, and they find Lynch-Daniels out top. Gets a screen from DC5, kicks it right side to Bonds. He'll go to the baseline, cut off there, cross court to Ollie Lynch-Daniels. A corner 3 won't go, and the rebound controlled by Schmidt for the Islanders. Ray will bring it up. Leave it for Bloom, who's checked in, and he throws it away, trying to penetrate, but saved by Ray. Down on the baseline to Schmidt, and he'll lay it off the window with the left hand. Well, the Huskies almost got off on a run out there. Bonds tries to run up and tip it up. Miles with the follow, and he will be fouled, and Tim will go to the free throw line. 6:27 to go here in the first half, and Tim Miles to the free throw line for the Huskies. Tim's got 5 tonight. He's a 50% shooter at the stripe for the season, 11 of 22. And misses the first one. Lynch-Daniels will check out. Will Gates Jr. checks back in for the Huskies. So the 5 starters are back out on the floor together. Miles with one more free throw to go here. Second one is no good. The Huskies now at the line tonight, 4 of 7. Right around 57%. Fairly close to their season average. Schmidt's got to look at a 3 from the top of the arc. Puts it up, spins it out, won't go, and the rebound controlled by the Huskies. Leading by 10 as they bring it up. Will Gates right side. David Bloom picks him up. He gets it out top to Bonds, though. Bonds to Caraher. Stop at the arc. Get it right side to Will Gates. Going to take it into the paint. Float it up over a double team. Short. But we've got a push underneath, and it's going to be called on Tim Miles on the loose ball. And now Tim has 2 fouls, and the Huskies have 5 as a team. Check it, that is the 3rd foul on Tim Miles. And we'll get that confirmed. It's either the 2nd or 3rd foul. Either way, it's a problem for the Huskies. Miles checks out and Hart back in. Here's a steal by the Huskies, and Hart gets it off to DeBose. Up to Caraher. He'll fire a 3. Off the mark. Hart tries to sky for the board, but it's pulled in by Kilgore instead. Off on the run. The Islanders up the floor. Get it to Ray. He tries to put it up. Blocked. And off with it is Caraher. On the run, in through traffic. Right side, leaves it for DeBose. They'll slow it down. Feed it down into the low blocks to Hart. Turn around. Won't go, but he's fouled. And Ray picks up the personal. And that'll be his 2nd. And it will send Ed Hart to the free throw line. Bonds got credit for that block back on the other end of Sean Ray. Ray a little frustrated as he picked up the foul on the other end. He's had a beef a couple of times tonight with the way the calls have gone. Francois will check back in. Ray talking to Raymond Shifts as he exits. And Hart, who hits the first free throw, has one more to come. Ed's got 3. The 2nd shot won't go, and Huskies' lead is 11. 33-22 as Miles Smith brings it up. Bonds will pick him up, left side angle. Huskies in man-to-man defense. This trip up the floor. Hale finds Francois. Francois to Kilgore. Penetrates, now backs out. Now he'll take it into the middle, in through traffic. He's going to be tripped up. Gets the shot to go. That somehow found the bottom of the cords. And the foul is going to be on Ian DeBose. And Ian now is the one with the beef. But Kilgore to the line to try and complete an old-fashioned 3-point play here. Joe Kilgore averaging just under 18 points a game. He's an 80% free throw shooter, but spins that one out. And the lead stays at 9 for the Huskies. As they bring it up the floor in the hands of Bonds. Looks over the half court. And now we've got a whistle away from the basketball. They're going to call Caraher for an offensive foul. And that's the first on David, the 6th on the team for the Huskies. Coach Cottrell up off the bench, trying to tell David not to let that get to him. Caraher usually, I don't think there's been a call this year that David has thought was the correct one when it's on him. Here's Kilgore, turnaround jumper from the left angle, and he got it to go, and the lead is down to 7, 33-26. Jalen Gates back out on the floor, feeds it down low to Hart. He's going to be fouled by Francois. And no, I think they're going to get Bloom. It is on David Bloom for reaching in. And Ed Hart will go back to the free throw line. Ed, over the last 5 games, has played so much better. He's got his scoring average for the year up to 5.1 per game. Gets the first free throw to go. He's got 4 points in this one, about to get to his average if he makes this free throw, but it is short. They had 2 for 4 at the line tonight. The lead is 8. Kilgore up the floor. He's going to fire from three-point land, off the mark. The rebound comes off to Bonds. Long bounce pass up ahead to Will Gates, and he couldn't finish it off. Tough break for the Huskies there. A beautiful pass from Braxton Bonds. And Gates found the lane, but he could not finish it off. Hale dribbles it up out top for the Islanders. Picked up by Jalen Gates. He'll drive in, left angle, floated up with the right hand. Ran to his left. Put it into the right hand and put up the teardrop. Here's Will Gates back the other way, though, and this time he makes up for the miss on the last one, finishes that one. And Will's got his first points of the ball game. And the Huskies are back up to an 8-point lead, 36-28. Smith will yo-yo out top. Fans here in the arena calling for defense. Gives it off to Kilgore, left side angle. Francois tried to dunk to follow, and he couldn't do it. Now throws it away, and the Huskies get out of the situation without giving up any points. And it stops the clock with 3:02 to go. Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And the Huskies have been a little bit of both tonight. 36-28 with a timeout on the floor. We'll take the break on the Husky Sports Network.
Where do babies come from?
Honey?
Mommy went to the store.
Oh, well, you see, there's a mommy and a daddy, right?
Right.
And see, when they call Geico, they could save a bunch of money on car insurance.
Oh, really? And that makes them happy?
Yes, that makes them very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could have this talk, Sunshine.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Every visit to Raising Cane's begins with a moment of truth. What to have? 6 delicious, fresh, never ever frozen premium chicken fingers? 4 chicken fingers? Or perhaps 3 delectable chicken fingers? It's a tough one. We haven't even gotten to the whole coleslaw crinkle fried conundrum of deliciousness. Yeah, take your time, sister. We understand. Raising Cane's, one love.
Huskies' field goal percentage has dropped all the way down to 38% after the very hot start, but they still maintain an 8-point advantage here out of the timeout. Bonds with the basketball, gets it with a bounce pass to Caraher. Caraher is going to turn around, put up a jumper over Bloom. The shot won't go, in the rebound cleared by the Islanders. Kilgore up the floor. He's going to be picked up by Will Gates. Gets a screen from Francois. Takes it to the free throw circle. Puts up the jumper. Won't go. Francois with the rebound. Floats it up. Won't go. And this time Hart clears it for the Huskies. And a whistle stops the play. And we're going to get a foul. It's going to be on Francois. And for Francois, that's his first personal foul, and it'll send Edward Hart to the line. 9th foul on the Islanders here in the first half with 2:28 to go till halftime. Stick with us. We've got a nice little treat coming up at the half. Earlier this afternoon, we got to chat with Will Gates Jr. and Tim Miles, and we'll bring you those visits at the half, the finale of the season, and talking to the guys that are playing in their final game. Hart gets the first free throw to go. Ed at the line tonight, 3 for 5, and the second one won't go. He's 1 for 2 each trip to the stripe, and it's a 9-point advantage for the Huskies. He's got 5 points. The Huskies lead by 9. Smith drives in, pulls up, right elbow, jumper hits the iron and gets the friendly roll, drops down through. It's a 7-point game. 37-30. Bonds brings it back up. He'll set up left side angle. Out top to Hart. Feed it to Jalen Gates. Dribbles to the left elbow. Puts up a jumper. Won't go. And the ball goes out of bounds. Air ball. And the Huskies turn it over with 1:55 to go. Well, pretty good contingency supporting A&M Corpus Christi here tonight. They've got a lot of Houstonians on their roster, and so they've got some fan support here tonight. And they were trying to let Jalen hear about his miss. Kilgore up the floor, floats it up with the right hand, won't go, and we've got a whistle and a foul going to be called on the rebound. Elijah Schmidt's going to be called for the personal. And that is going to be the 10th foul on A&M Corpus Christi. So we'll walk to the other end of the floor, and David Caraher will go to the free throw line for the Huskies. Caraher, as we told you, leading active players in scoring. 15.9 per game, gets the first free throw to go down there. He also pulls down 7 boards per contest. And gets both free throws there. The second one almost drew rain. But he's got a dozen already tonight. We've got 90 seconds to go in the first half. 39-30, Huskies with the lead. Miles Smith going to pull up. Little one-on-one playground move, and he pulls up in the free throw circle and drops it down from 16. And it's a 7-point game again. Back and forth right around that number. Gates tries to feed it into Hart. Led him a little too far, and Ed lost the basketball, and the Huskies get bailed out. It's out of bounds off of A&M Corpus Christi. So Bonds will go stand right in front of the coaches on the Islanders bench and inbound it to Caraher. Fake to give back to Bonds, then thought about a three. Does get it to Braxton, who goes to Jalen. Down low into the blocks to Hart. Little turnaround in the paint. Won't go, and the rebound is loose on the floor. Caraher on the floor. Kilgore is down there, that's Miles Smith and Colin Hale. It'll be a tied ball. And there's going to be some moisture on the floor after those bodies hit the deck. So Roland Simmons and Raymond Ships are going to make sure it's dealt with. It'll be Huskies basketball on the alternating possession. Good hustle by guys from both squads trying to get to that loose ball. Huskies basketball. Will Gates to the baseline now as got all the housekeeping done. He floats it out top to Caraher to start the clock back in motion. 39-32. Here's Jalen Gates going to fire a three off the iron. And the rebound pulled down by Miles Smith. On the run, going to take it straight up and in. Coast to coast, and he went right to the heart of the paint. And cuts it down to a 5-point deficit for the Islanders. And Coach Cottrell wants to talk it over as Bonds gets across the midcourt line. 28.9 on the game clock, 23 on the shot clock. And the Huskies want to get a good look here on their final possession of the first half. Thirty-second timeout called by Coach Cottrell. Got his team around him on the floor. Reminder that coming up at the half tonight, we will hear from 2 seniors on the squad. Will Gates Jr., Tim Miles. Mentioned earlier, this game is of interest not only here, but imagine there are some people in Abilene and Lake Charles trying to keep track of the proceedings here. And the Huskies right now are trying to take a lead into the locker room at the half. Will Gates gets a screen from Caraher, and he's going to be fouled as he tries to go right to left. It's going to be on Colin Hale, and it'll send Will to the free throw line here to shoot a pair with 16.8 to go in the first half. Will Gates having his best season here in his senior year, his swan song for the Huskies, averaging 6.7 per game. He had a career high of 18 points earlier this season. Missed the first free throw, though, and the second one won't stay down, but Jalen Gates' little brother gets it. And the Huskies will have the final look here before the half. Bonds takes it to the middle, leave it down low for Hart. It's loose on the floor. Nobody's going to get it. The clock is winding down, and the clock will go off without a look. Well, the Huskies didn't execute there on the final possession of the first half, but they will take a lead into the locker room at the break. HBU is led by as many as 15 here in the first half, but that lead is down to 5 as we make it to the break. We'll take a timeout, come back with the Huskies halftime report. Visits with Tim Miles and Jalen Gates after this on the Husky Sports Network.
At Houston Federal Credit Union, we're dedicated to our members, our communities, and now the students, faculty, and employees of Houston Baptist University. From checking and savings accounts to loans, IRAs, money markets, and other financial tools, HFCU is ready to serve the HBU Huskies and their fans. Learn more today. Call 866-OUR-HFCU or log on to HoustonFCU.org. Houston Federal Credit Union and the HBU Huskies. That's a doggone good team.
Houston Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA.
The body is incredibly powerful. It's so nimble and fluid, but sometimes we push it too far. That's when you need the strength of Memorial Hermann and our body of affiliated orthopedic specialists. With our renowned Ironman Sports Medicine Institute, they not only get your body back to where it was, they get it to go further. It's what makes us more than just hospitals. We are a body of experts. Memorial Hermann, advancing health.
Tammy and I have been going steady since high school.
Tammy and Tommy, two peas in a pod, as they say.
We have all the same friends. We like all the same things. I mean, we practically even have the same name.
But there's one thing we could just never agree on.
Soda.
I have been begging him all these years to just try Pepsi, and I knew he would change his tune.
Yeah.
So, finally, I had him take the Pepsi Taste Challenge. And go on, tell him what you told me, Tommy.
I'm a Pepsi man.
Right? Gosh, isn't Pepsi so good?
I tell you what, I don't know why I didn't try it sooner.
Me neither.
It's so crisp and refreshing and bubbly.
Like me.
Like you.
I'm always right.
She's always right.
All across the South, people are choosing the great taste of Pepsi. Take the Pepsi Taste Challenge and let your taste decide.
This is the HBU Husky Sports Network, powered by Legacy Sports.
Back on the Huskies halftime report. It's time for a special treat here on this final home game of the season, Senior Day, and one of the seniors being recognized is Will Gates Jr., finishing up his career here at HBU, and Will stops by to chat with us. Will, first of all, thanks for spending a couple of minutes with us. As you think about today, what are some of the emotions going through your mind?
I just think it's, joy. Kind of just a day of remembering pretty much everything that I've done in my basketball career to get to this point. It hasn't been the smoothest ride that I may have wanted, but definitely happy that I chose to come here after spending a year and a half at my other university. So.
Yeah, you started out at Furman out of high school. Actually, we kind of consider you a Chicago kid, even though you finished up in San Antonio. How'd you wind up out at Furman? Tell a little bit about how you went from there to come to HBU.
It was a little bit of a weird process because I was like the end of my senior year. We had already finished playing in a state tournament and things like that because we had lost. And I had, like, no offers. So Coach Richie came out to see me play at one of these tournaments as well as Coach Ron. And it was maybe like he came to see me that week. He watched me in practice. I went to go play an AAU game, and then they brought me on a visit. Literally, this is like in 1 week span. Went up there, enjoyed the campus, thought it was nice, met some of the guys. Came back here, went on my visit to HBU. And just at that time, there was just none of the guys that were on the team were here because it was just so late in the signing period. So I didn't really get to meet any of the guys. So I chose to go there because I had gotten to meet those guys. And, I felt like I really liked the campus and things like that. Fast forward, I'm playing my freshman year. I'm having a decent year for a freshman. I made the all-freshman team. My sophomore year, come back off my first 2 knee surgeries. And, things are just not working out the way that I had wanted them to going into my sophomore year. I wasn't very happy. I felt like things were just moving apart from me and the coaching staff. I didn't feel like I was the player that they wanted necessarily at that time. So then, got released. And then my dad called up Coach Ron and was like, hey, do you want to take a chance on this kid? And thankfully enough, Coach Ron was, gracious enough to want to take me in. So that's kind of how things, came to be for me getting here.
You talked about having a couple of surgeries and injuries have kind of played a part in your career. Talk about the challenges that come along with that for anybody that might be listening and a player maybe in the future who doesn't realize what they have to deal with. Talk about the mental toughness you have to be able to recover and come back from something like those.
I mean, honestly, it's tough. I mean, I have 4 separate knee surgeries, 2 on my left and 2 on my right. And each time, it didn't get any easier trying to come back from that because it would get to a point where I'll be playing. I'll feel like, man, I'm about to get back to myself. And then, bam, it felt like my knees were getting bad again. It just took a lot of, strength and faith in God to continue to want to play because, honestly, at times I was like, I don't know if I want to continue to do this because, being hurt and sitting out and having to try to come back and get yourself back into playing shape it's really tough, but it's just one of those things where if you really love the game, you'll be willing to put in all that work that it takes to get back to the point where you want to be.
Talked about your dad. People who don't realize it, your dad's William Gates. He was featured in the documentary Hoop Dreams. For a guy my age, it doesn't seem like that long ago, but I mean, now it's been over 20 years since that, almost 25 years. Talk about the influence your dad and maybe some of the ordeals he went through in his playing career, in his college career. Some of them we've seen very publicly on screen there, but talk about how that's helped you or influenced you in your journey.
It's definitely been easy to talk to him about, recovery process and just, how to stay mentally focused on getting back and getting right because obviously he's been through a lot with his knees as well. So it was really nice to have, him in my corner just letting me know that everything's going to be all right because, back then the technology is a little different. So him coming back, it took him a little bit longer than it took me. So it was definitely great, to have that ear because, I really respect my dad. I really look up to my dad. And he's been my favorite player since I can't even remember watching Hoop Dreams. So
you've been in the starting lineup for a lot of this year. Talk about your senior season and, what it's meant to you. I know as far as the standings and scoreboard goes, a lot of nights it's not going the way you guys would want. But talk about some of your thoughts about your final season.
I thought I had a pretty solid season. Thought I started off really, really well, playing really well for the team. And then, some things happened, I got sick at one point. I came back, and I was just trying to get my rhythm back, and I wasn't shooting the ball maybe as well as I was at first. But I think overall, I had a pretty solid senior season considering, not playing for almost 2.5 years. So I think it's just been great, and then obviously getting to play with my little brother who also attends here. That's also been something special for me. I really enjoyed it. Couldn't be any prouder of what I've been able to do. May not have been, like I said, the way I may have thought my career was going to go, but I'm definitely happy that things played out the way that they did.
What's next?
What's next? I'm going to try to be involved with basketball as much as I can. I'm going to definitely come out to some games next year. Hopefully I can find myself on somebody's staff in the near future and hopefully be talking to you in a different way as a coach. So
I hope so too, man. It's been fun to get to know you and watch you over the last couple of years, and wish you nothing but the best in your future.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Will Gates Jr., one of the seniors, being honored today on Senior Day. Take a time out and come back with more on the Husky Sports Network.
Gretel came upon a house made out of gingerbread. Being quite hungry, they started eating the roof. The homeowner was outraged. Luckily, the Geico Insurance Agency had helped her with homeowner's insurance. She got all her shingles replaced. Hansel and Gretel were last seen eating their way through the candy cane forest. Call Geico and see how easy it is to switch and save on homeowner's insurance.
This is the HBU Husky Sports Network, powered by Legacy Sports.
Chatting with Tim Miles, one of the seniors being recognized today on Senior Day here at Sharp Gym. And Tim, we're calling it Senior Day. You're actually a grad student now, though, working on your postgraduate degree. Tell the folks a little bit about what you've got going on outside the court, what your focus is on here academically.
Well, right now I'm in the Master's of Education program, focusing on physical education and also social studies and social sciences. So I've just been working on that. I brought about another year until I finish up, so that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, you've got to HBU as a grad transfer. Talk about coming from, I think it was Cal State Fullerton, with having a family and having those responsibilities and trying to keep playing basketball as well.
Well, there's definitely some challenges that come along with it, but a lot of benefits. Well, first of all, I'd like to say happy birthday to my youngest son, Cameron. His birthday was just yesterday. He just turned 2 years old. And just different events like maybe having to miss a practice or a weightlifting session because your son is sick, or staying up all night because they have a fever, or they want to come into the bed, getting up in the middle of the night to go get milk, corresponding with your wife on planning for the day and getting things done at the house, paying bills, all the real life things that people outside of basketball have to focus on, but also focusing on basketball. So you got to really compartmentalize all of it, wear different hats.
In that regard, have you used any of your experiences in that area to talk to some of the other guys on the team, or tell them, hey, enjoy this now because it's not always going to be like this?
Oh, yeah, I definitely let them know, when you want to enjoy every day and when you're out there living life, slow down a little bit. You guys don't want to be me too fast. I don't have any regrets in my life, but life definitely changes when you have kids and a family. You have to grow up instantly. And, I had my first son when I was 19 years old. So from 19 to 22, I don't have my 20s. I'll probably get my 30s and 40s, but right now, all that youthful stuff ended right away. So,
well, hopefully you'll get your 30s and 40s. I've got some in their 20s now, and sometimes you don't get those 30s and 40s back. But moving ahead, just getting to watch you for a season here out on the floor, I think some of the most fun that I personally have had watching you.
But they're going to remember that they got blocked, and that'll change up. They'll remember that for the rest of the game.
Nobody gets posterized on a three from the corner.
Exactly. So, a lot of people are like, oh, well, you can make an excuse when somebody hits a corner. Oh, well, this is this guy's man, or I was late on an assignment. But when you get blocked, it was only you. So you can't blame it on anybody else.
What's next for Tim Miles?
What's next for Tim Miles is to finish up school, and hopefully I'm going to be going into some sales position. I have a couple of job offers for enterprise, and I'm looking into some pharmaceutical sales. So I haven't exactly determined where I'm going to be going next, but I will be doing some big things in the future for me and my family.
You think you're going to stay in the Houston area, or you headed back to California?
Well, I definitely can't afford to go back to California right now, and I love the city of Houston. I definitely, it's somewhere I can see myself raising a family, and it's just a great central location. Besides the hurricane, everything was great this year. So I think I definitely will be in Houston for a while.
Well, we're glad to have you, man. It's been fun to watch you this year. All the best to you in the future.
Thank you very much.
Tim Miles, one of the guys being recognized today on Senior Day. We'll take a timeout and come back with more on the Husky Sports Network.
How do you see the world?
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into everyday miracles. Like riding my bike, breaking boards, hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, visit ShrinersHospitalsForChildren.org.
Don't mess with Texas. I ain't gonna say it again. No way, not the highway. Better put that trash in a can. Don't mess with Texas. Don't you throw that trash on the road. Don't you disrespect us. Don't mess with Texas. Howdy, everybody. Kevin Fowler here, reminding you to put that trash in a can. Don't mess with Texas, y'all.
Brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation.
This is the HBU Huskies Sports Network, powered by Legacy Sports.
Back here at Sharp Gym, just about set to go with possibly the final 20 minutes of the 2017-2018 season. You say possibly because the last time these two teams got together, we wound up going 5 extra minutes. The Huskies came back from a big 21-point deficit in the second half of that game down in Corpus Christi to tie it up. They had a chance to win in regulation, couldn't convert at the end of the regulation time, though. They took it into overtime, outscored 12-2 in that overtime period, lost by 10, but it was a much closer game than that. But the Huskies hope that they can hang on to the 5-point lead they've got here to start the second half and maybe finish this season off in style. Islanders basketball, and we're ready to go. Joe Kilgore takes it down left baseline, and we're going to get Ian DeBose called for a foul. Ian doesn't think so. Coach Cottrell up off the bench. Raymond Chips demonstrative in the call, though. And for Ian, that will be his third personal. So Ian's got 3. Tim Miles has 3. Both those guys are out on the floor. Starters back out there for the Huskies. Here's Smith. He's going to drive in, faces up over Caraher, and floats a little 16-footer from the left elbow and drops it down through, and the lead is down to 3, 39-36. Will Gates takes a pass from Braxton Bonds, tries to go with the bounce pass inside to Miles. It's stolen away. Well, the Huskies have done this a few times this year. They get off to sluggish starts in the second half, and I'm sure that's a concern for Coach Cottrell right now. Ray out top to Kilgore, left side angle. Kilgore wants a screen, takes it to the baseline, floats it up, and it's a 1-point game now. The first 4 out of the gate belong to the Islanders. And the 5-point lead, actually one-time 15-point lead, has almost disappeared completely. Now, Ray is going to bail out Caraher with a foul. He bumped him. Sean Ray will pick up his third foul. First foul of the second half on the Islanders. On the dribble, so the Huskies will go to the baseline. Send Will Gates down low to get it inbounds to Braxton Bonds. Caraher feeds it down in the paint to Miles. He thought he was hit as he went up. The shot rolls off the iron, though, and is cleared by the Islanders. Kilgore up in a hurry, floats it up, won't go, but Ray there for the rebound, puts it up and in, and the Islanders are back on top. Just the second lead change of the night. And now Coach Cottrell asking for a timeout, and he is upset. Roland Simmons and Coach Cottrell are discussing things in a rather animated fashion. With 18:22 to go, we'll hang on to it right here. And there are still some upset guys in blue and orange down to our left. But the Huskies now have given up 6 points in a row in the first 1 minute and 38 seconds of the second half. And they have fallen behind by a point here, 40-39. HBU has the basketball. In the first half, the Huskies had 6 turnovers. They've already committed one early here. They gave the ball back to the Islanders. They've got 7 now for the game. Islanders are 3 of 4 to start the second half after they went 15 of 34 in the first half. The Huskies got out to a very hot start. They were up over 50% shooting for much of the first half and cooled off to end the half from the floor, wound up shooting just 34%. They've missed the only shot attempt they've had here to start the second half, so they're down to 33, 12 for 36 for the ball game. Basketball on the inbounds play belongs to the Huskies. DeBose out top, almost has it stolen away, but he turns around and floats it up, and it finds the bottom of the court. The Huskies back on top by a point. 41-40 is our score. This is an important game for the Islanders of Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Just as interested the folks in Abilene and at McNeese State. Kilgore pulls up, floats one up, won't go. The rebound mistimed by Schmidt and pulled down by Will Gates for the Huskies. Get it off to Bonds. He's going to drive in. Shot won't go, but they say the foul was before the shot anyway. It's going to be called on Schmidt. His third. Now they've got a couple of guys with 3. Schmidt's going to check out, and Bloom will check in for him. Ray is out there. He's got 3 fouls, but he stays out on the floor right now. Will Gates gets it inbounds to Tim Miles, and he goes out top. Caraher to Bonds. Bonds drives in, puts it up on the run, won't go. But Braxton is fouled, and this time he should get free throws. Foul is going to be called on Bloom. His second. Third foul on the Islanders here in the first 2.5 minutes of the second half. And Bonds to the free throw line for the Huskies here. Braxton tonight, 7 points, 6 boards. He's 3 for 3 at the line as he makes the first one. Second one as well, 4 for 4. He's got 9. And the Huskies out to a 3-point lead, 43-40. 17:22 to go. Miles Smith, Kareem South, left side angle. Gets it down low to Ray, tries to go up strong over Miles, and he does. Off the window and down through for 2. Back to a 1-point game. 43-42 DeBose to Bonds. Weaves it left to right across the top of the arc. Again to Caraher. Feed it to Miles, and Miles with a no-look pass to no one home, and he thought he was going to Ian DeBose, and DeBose had vacated the premises, and it turns it over back to the Islanders. The Huskies hanging on to a 1-point edge. Miles Smith goes to Kareem South. South to Hale, back in the corner to South, and he drains a 3. And the stands behind the Islanders bench erupts. Caraher's going to try to answer with a 3 of his own, and he does. And the lead right back into the hands of the Huskies for the moment, 46-45. Ray now is going to fire up a 3, and he answers. And now this is turning into, can you top this? Bonds almost lost the dribble, saves it to Will Gates left side. Gates out right angle to DeBose, and we're going to get a foul called on Kareem South as DeBose trying to drive in. That'll be the 4th on the team, and for South, his 3rd. So now they've got 3 guys with 3 fouls. Might be something to keep your eye on if you're a Huskies fan. Checking the clock before they inbound it. Roland Simmons now talking to David Caraher and Sean Ray. They're smiling at each other, but Roland Simmons apparently didn't like some of the smack being run back and forth out there, so he tries to calm that down. Bonds gets it down low. Caraher feeds it back out on the wing to Will Gates, and Gates with a three. Will drains the tray. He's got 5, and the Huskies are back up by 1. Oh, if this is the way this season's going to end, this is going to be something to watch. Here's a runner put up by Kilgore. Won't go. The Huskies pull it off on the loose. Caraher takes the feed, but he loses control. Out of bounds off his knee, and it'll be Islander basketball. But the clock stops. 15:30 to go. Grab a Pepsi. Sit back. Get ready for an exciting finish to the 2018 season right here on the Husky Sports Network.
Here's a toast to all you Caniacs. You are ever faithful aficionados of premium, fresh, never-ever frozen chicken fingers from Raising Cane's. Keen connoisseurs of Cane's crispy, extra-long, premium crinkle-cut fries. You who are dedicated to the made-fresh daily cane sauce that twirls tongues in a tastefully tangy tango. Topped off with a little slice of heaven from the goodness of the griddle. We toast you all from Raising Cane's. One love.
Let Houston Federal Credit Union be there for all the stages of your life. Take advantage of our products and services to help you with all your financial milestones, such as purchasing a car, buying a home, and planning for retirement. We're the credit union that will always have your back and helps you save money along the way. Houston Federal Credit Union is the official credit union of HBU. Experience the credit union difference today. Stop by any of our convenient locations or visit our website, houstonfcu.org.
Shooting percentages have picked up for HBU. They're 3 for 4 now, but as good as that is, the Islanders out of the gate here in the second half are 6 for 9 from the floor. They've got a chance to recapture the lead on this possession out of the timeout. Sean Ray on the baseline goes by Ed Hart, who's checked back in. He goes up. Shot won't go, but Hart's going to draw the foul. Ed picks up his first. That's the second on the team here in the second half. Stops the clock with 15:15 to go, and it sends Sean Ray back to the free throw line, where he's 1 for 2 tonight. First one rattles out, won't go. Colin Hale off the bench for the Islanders will check in. David Bloom will go to the bench. Huskies with Hart, DuBose, Caraher, Gates, and Bonds out on the floor right now. Second free throw no good as well. And the Huskies keep the 1-point lead as they get the loose ball. Will Gates gives it off to Braxton Bonds. He'll bring it up. Far right side, no pressure as he comes across the stripe. Here's a foul down low, and they're going to call Ed Hart for an offensive foul. And that's 2 quick ones on Hart. He was away from the basketball, did not see what was going on down there, but they call Ed for an illegal screen or some kind of push. And the Huskies turn it over. Ray, left side to Miles Smith. Looks inside, but goes to Kilgore instead. Turn around on the baseline. He puts up a 15-footer. DuBose tried to go for the steal, didn't come up with it, and Kilgore made him pay. Islanders recapture the 1-point edge, 50-49. DuBose down through traffic, puts it up, off glass in, and he's got the +1 to come. Foul on the play, going to be charged to Sean Ray, and that is going to be his 4th foul. DuBose now with 6 points, and Ray with those 4 fouls and 14 and a half minutes to go is going to have to check out. Schmidt will check back in for him. He's got 3 personals, though, so Willis Wilson may be getting into a little deep waters here as far as fouls go for his big guys. Ian gets the +1 to go. And the Huskies lead is 2, 52-50. Clock rolls down toward the 14-minute mark. Smith just walks it up, yo-yoing with the left hand across his mid-court stripe. Kilgore and Hale playing pitch and catch out top. Give it to Kareem South into the corner to Smith. He fires a three, got it. Well, they have picked up the pace tremendously here in the second half, and they are on fire. Miles Smith with 16 points now. Give the assist to South on that one. Caraher going to try to go up, and he does over Schmidt. Rolls it up and in with the finger roll off the right hand. And the Huskies are back up by a point. Caraher now with 17 points for the game. Kilgore from the top of the free throw circle puts up the jumper. It won't go, but he's going to be fouled. Bonds will pick up the personal, the fourth on the team. And for Braxton, that will be his first. But more importantly, it sends Kilgore back to the free throw line. He's only been there once tonight. He's 0 for 1 at the stripe. Kilgore for the game with 14 points, though. Smith with that three from the corner, a couple of possessions back, has 16 points now, so he has captured the scoring lead for the Islanders. Kilgore gets the first free throw to go, ties us up at 54. 13:38 to go. Oliver Lynch-Daniels checks in for the Huskies. Will Gates will get a breather. Second free throw bounces all around the iron before it drops down through, but it does, and the Islanders are back up by one. Ollie up the floor with the dribble on the right-hand side. Takes it up, pulls up from the elbow. Right angle and drains it. Well, Lynch-Daniels off the bench tonight with 5. And the Huskies back up by 1. South out top to Schmidt. Schmidt to Smith. Down low to Kilgore. Backs in on Bonds. Puts it up. And Braxton got a hand on the basketball, but he also got the body and the hand on the arm of Joe Kilgore. And it'll send Kilgore back to the free throw line. So here we are again. 5 team fouls now on the Huskies. Each team with 5. We've still got 13:03 to go in this ball game. The end of this season could turn into a free throw shooting contest. First free throw from Kilgore is good. The second one is as well. The baseline screen team trying to distract him, but to no avail. Philip McKenzie checks in. Ian DuBose is going to get a breather. Both free throws good. Kilgore has 18 now, and he's got the Islanders back up by 1, 57-56. Bonds, right to left, way out beyond the circle. Gets it to Caraher at the arc. Going to drive in on Kilgore. Leans in, floats it up, and it won't stay down. But Hart follows. He's going to be fouled. The bucket won't go, but Ed will go to the free throw line. The foul is going to be on Kilgore, I think. No, Miles Smith, number 2 instead of number 3. Kelly Hunt with the call. First foul on Smith. If that had been on Kilgore, it would have been his third, but instead the first personal on Miles Smith. But Edward Hart back to the free throw line for the Huskies. Ed Ari with 6 free throw attempts tonight, but he is 3 of 6 at the stripe. Little housekeeping to do under the basket before Roland Simmons gives the ball to Edward Hart. Head off the mark on the first one, has one more to come. 12:41 to go. Ed ties us up with the second one. He is a perfect 1 for 2 every time he's been to the line tonight. 4 different sets of free throws, and he's 4 of 8 at the stripe. Perfectly 50%. Here's Kilgore from the left baseline, puts up a jumper on the turnaround, won't go, but Smith somehow comes out of there with the rebound. And we've got a whistle on the follow. The shot won't go, but Miles Smith will go to the free throw line. Braxton Bonds picks up his third foul. We are going to finish this game trading free throws, it looks like. Now 16 fouls on both teams, so 42 seconds since the last update. 12:20 to go in regulation time. The next foul for either team puts the other in the bonus for the rest of the way. Smith gets them both. The Islanders' lead is 2, 59-57 with 12:15 to go. Huskies had a 5-point halftime lead. Here's Ed Hart going to try and give them a lead back with the three. Won't go, though. And South with a long outlet up ahead to Smith. Leave it on the baseline for Schmidt, and an offensive foul is called. Second foul on Smith. 7th on the team. No free throws, of course, on an offensive foul. Counted as a turnover. 4th one charged to Smith tonight. But the Huskies now will be in the bonus the rest of the way with 11:58 to go. Hey, these guys have been calling it. That means they've got to even it up here. And we're going to get a whistle on Colin Hale. So Oliver Lynch Daniels will go to the free throw line. But we've got a timeout on the floor. 11:53 to go. Huskies down by 2, but an opportunity to tie when we come back on the Husky Sports Network.
Coming to you in Living Cola.
The joy of cola. Pepsi Cola. Pepsi Cola. Jumping, just enjoy the ride. Take your time. Joy of bubbles, joy of fun, joy of Pepsi on your tongue. Greatest taste sensation under the sun.
Refreshing Pepsi Cola from the wonderful folks who put the R in cola.
Looking at the turnover numbers, the Huskies now, as we come out of the timeout, sending Oliver Lynch Daniels to the free throw line. Huskies have 10 turnovers now, and the Islanders have turned those into 15 points off turnovers tonight. The Huskies have been outscored in points off turnovers, 15-2. Ollie gets the first free throw to go. Islanders have 9 turnovers of their own, but as we told you, just 2 points off those turnovers. So the Huskies have failed to make them pay for giving them the freebies. Lynch Daniels, though, ties us back up with a pair of free throws. 59 all. 11:45 to go. Kareem South goes to Joe Kilgore. Left side jumper won't go. The rebound's going to deflect out off of Oliver Lynch Daniels. He tried to run it down in the corner, but could not. It'll be out of bounds off the Huskies and inbounded to Miles Smith. He'll drive in on Lynch Daniels, gets it to roll up and in, and Miles is going to draw the foul on Ollie. That'll be his first, but it's the 7th on the team. Count the bucket, so a +1 at the free throw line to come for Smith. 11.5 minutes to go in this ball game, and we're going to be shooting free throws every whistle the rest of the way. Both teams in the bonus. 62-59. The free throw is good. It's a three-point edge for the Islanders. Bonds drives in, floats it up off the iron, won't go. Caraher is bumped to the deck as he hits the ground. Schmidt does as well. We're going to get a foul called on Corpus. Elijah Schmidt will draw his fourth foul. So now he's got 4. Ray's got 4. And David Caraher to the free throw line for the Huskies. Well, this is who you want at the stripe if you're HBU. The first rainbow finds the goal. Perry Francois checks in for Schmidt. You're going to have to try and save Ray and Schmidt. 11:14 to go. Still a lot of time in this game. We'll look down the way and see Willis Wilson down on a knee in front of Sean Ray talking to him. No doubt about, hey, if I send you back out there, I need you to stay out on the floor. Second free throw, no good. 1 out of 2 for Caraher. It's a 2-point game, 62-60. DC5 has 18 points now. Miles Smith with a dribble out beyond the arc. Lynch Daniels on him. Kick it out to Hale. Hale traveled. Thought they were not going to call that one. Hale pump faked himself out of a shot there. Raymond Ships does make the call, and the turnover gives it back to the Huskies. Each team now in double digits as far as the turnover column goes. Now the Huskies have to make them pay. Feed it to Lynch Daniels into the corner to McKenzie, who's checked back in for the Huskies. Ollie out top, going to dribble in, triple teamed, and he's going to be fouled as he hangs on to the ball, and he's going to draw the foul on Miles Smith. That's his third now. Well, we may be testing the depth of these benches before this one ends tonight, as Oliver Lynch Daniels to the free throw line for the Huskies gets the first one to go. Tim Miles will check back in. Ed Hart will get a breather. Ed's got 6 points and 2 fouls. He'll go to the bench. Tim's got 5 points, 3 fouls as he checks back in. Ollie gets them both at the line. We're all knotted up again. 10.5 to go. Fans want some defense. Exhorting the home team to tighten up here. South has the basketball, right side angle. The drive to the baseline. Kick it out on the wing to Hale. The corner 3. Rims out. Francois, though, with the offensive board. Spin around, and it goes. Little baby hook from point blank range. Rattled on the iron, but it dropped down through, and the lead is back in the hands of the Islanders as we go under 10 minutes in this ball game. 64-62. Miles with the handoff to Bonds, and they misconnect, and the ball goes out of bounds off of Braxton. Another turnover by the Huskies. And the Islanders bring it up the floor, trying to extend their 2-point lead. Smith out top, picked up by Lynch Daniels. He's going to try to drive in, and he's called for the offensive foul. And now Smith has his 4th foul. So they're going to go to the bench. Willis Wilson's going to look for David Bloom, but the Huskies get it inbounds. Didn't get to the scorer's table in time, and so Smith stays out there with those 4 fouls. If you're the Huskies, maybe you take it right to him now. Caraher's going to get it to Bonds. Bonds goes up, reverses it up and in. Count the bucket. They're going to call goaltending on the Islanders. It found its way down to the bottom of the nets anyway. Bloom checks in, so the Islanders get Smith out of there without drawing his 5th foul. Tied up again at 64. Kilgore will go back to the ball handling role. Yo-Yo's way out top. McKenzie gives him off to Lynch Daniels. Kilgore's going to try to drive in, dish it out in the corner to Hale, off the mark with a 3. Francois, though, with the follow, and he puts it off the glass and in for 2. Francois with a couple of offensive boards. Here's Tim Miles. He jams it down through with the answer, and Tim trying to finish off his career here at HBU with a flourish. Gets the dunk. He's got 7 tonight. His high as a Husky this season was 9 points, and he's knocking on that door. Bloom, right side angle in the tie ball game, goes back out top to Kilgore. Takes it inside the arc, floats it up, shot won't go. Caraher picks off the rebound. DC5 will leave it for Braxton Bonds. Get it right back to Caraher, drive it to the right corner. Tries to go across to Lynch Daniels, fires a 3 off the mark, but Miles there to run down the loose ball. Give it to Lynch Daniels, out on the wing, Caraher for a 3, off the back iron. Miles is going to tip the loose ball, but he is called for the personal. Miles is playing with a fire tonight, draws the personal, that'll be his 4th. It stops the clock with 7:58 to go and brings us to a timeout on the floor. We're all tied up at 66 apiece. Hang around, folks. This one is getting very interesting on the Husky Sports Network.
We're passionate, delivering expert neurological care for adults and children. We're dedicated, responding to neurotrauma and stroke with LifeFlight in our Level 1 Trauma Center. We're persistent, restoring lives at our Tier Rehabilitation and Research Hospital. We are Memorial Hermann. And we're making neuroscience breakthroughs every day.
Rolling up on a cheap price feels good, but cheap comes with risk. Heart surgeons, pilots, no one hires a cheap one of them. Fact is, certain things must be done right. Installing electricity in Houston schools and hospitals needs to be built with manpower that spent 10,000 hours training to do their job. So for heart surgeons to do their job, we must do ours. Skilled labor isn't cheap, and cheap labor isn't all that skilled.
The time is now to hire IBEW electricians.
Just before the timeout, Tim Miles committed his 4th personal foul. He will stay out there on the floor, but 8th foul on the team sends Joe Kilgore to the free throw line. 1-1 to come for Kilgore. He is 4 of 5 at the free throw line, 7 of 22 from the floor. Now I guess the officials are going to double check and make sure that it is Kilgore who should be at the free throw line. Huskies had questioned whether or not it should be Kilgore or Francois. I think they'd rather see Francois at the line, but it will be Kilgore. Kelly Hunt confirms that number 3 will get the free throws. Tied up at 66. This is 1-1, so he's got to make the first to get the second. But he has been very good from the stripe tonight. And he does get the first one, so the second will come. 67-66. 8 ties. 14 lead changes, now 15. Off of that shot, second free throw is good as well. And the Islanders are up by 2. Back and forth affair here, especially in the second half. Braxton Bonds off right side to Lynch Daniels. Into the left corner to McKenzie. He'll drive in, cross the paint, leave it for Miles. He's going to float it up, and he's going to be bumped on his way to the hole. Kilgore will draw the personal, It'll be his third, and it'll send Tim Miles to the line. Well, now if you're the Huskies and you're going to get to the line, this is where you need to make them. You know that it's been a struggle all season for HBU. Miles comes up short on the first one. This would be a great time, though, for HBU to come up big, a big positive from the free throw line to finish the season. McKenzie checks out. Lynch Daniels checks out. DuBois back out on the floor, and Jalen Gates checks in for Ollie. One more free throw to come for Tim. Second one is too strong. First one short. Second one long. And he misses them both. 7:37 to go in this ball game. Huskies down by 2. Colin Hale picked up by Jalen Gates way out beyond the arc. Right side to Bloom. Bloom picked up by Caraher. Kilgore pops out top. DuBois on him. He drives by, though, goes up. And Miles will draw the foul. I think Tim has just played his last moment. And boy, you hate to see that for Tim's sake. His 5th personal foul. And he gets a hug from Coach Cottrell as he goes to the bench. And his teammates greet him as well. Tim is a genuinely good guy. He's a family man. If you heard us at halftime getting to visit with him, father of 2 children, he and his wife, likely to stay here in the Houston area, even though he's a California guy. But he has just fouled out of this ball game, and Joseph Kilgore hits the first free throw to give the Islanders a 3-point lead. 69-66. Still 7:16 to go. Screen team tries to impact the free throw, and Kilgore comes up short. Still a 1-possession game. Huskies down by 3. Bonds to the middle of the floor. Keeps his dribble. Thought he was going to give it off to Gates, but instead goes to Caraher down low. David takes it in. Hesitates, gets Kilgore off his feet, pump fakes him, and puts the shot up off the glass. And it's back to a 1-point game. 20 points now for Caraher. And the Huskies are hanging right with the Islanders, who are fighting for a Southland Conference tournament berth. Here's a 3 by Hale. Shot won't go. Caraher gets the rebound, but they're going to say he traveled. Oh, that's a tough break for Caraher. He got under there, got the loose ball, but then just lost his footing with the basketball in his hands. It's a turnover. But one of those hustle turnovers. Francois checks out. Schmidt checks back in. Almost a steal on the inbounds pass. Kilgore puts up the shot. Won't go, but Schmidt gets the rebound. He'll get another look. New shot clock. 6:28 to go. Kilgore going to fire up a 3, and this time he's fouled. They're going to get Caraher for the personal in the corner. This will be 3 free throws for Joseph Kilgore. Second foul on Caraher, 10 on the team. Double bonus the rest of the way for both these teams. And Joe Kilgore misses the first one. Caraher getting some support from the student body to our right. He's talking to some of the fans on the first couple of rows here in the friendly confines of Sharp Gym. David is still not happy. The second free throw from Kilgore is good. It's a 2-point game. And the third free throw is no good. 1 of 3 for Kilgore. It's a 2-point game. 6:20 to go. Braxton Bonds gets it off right side to Jalen Gates. A 3! drains it. Oh, off the bench. Jay Gates ain't scared. 71-70. Kilgore back up the other way. Gives it off to Hale. Weaves out to the middle. Leave it left side for South. South back to Kilgore. They want it in his hands. Going to yo-yo between the legs. Put up the jumper. Spins it out. And the Huskies get the board. HBU now with a 1-point lead and a chance to increase that. Here's Bonds by his defender. Takes it in. Left side. Lays it off the glass for 2. Everybody thought he was going to give it off to Jalen Gates. And he just spun to the baseline and laid it off the window. 3-point advantage for the Huskies. Hale out top. Picked up by Jay Gates. Kicks it right side to Bloom. And they'll give it off to Kilgore. He's picked up by DeBose. Skips it across to Kareem South. His 3 answers the bell, and he drains it. And we're all knotted up. This game will not go gently into that good night. Braxton Bonds will yo-yo out top for the Huskies. Caraher, left angle, going to drive down on the baseline, cut off, feeds it into the paint to DeBose. He's going to be fouled. That, I think, is on Kilgore. If so, that's his 4th. And it is. And Ian DeBose will have a pair of free throws here. 4:48 to go. We're going to see Miles Smith and Sean Ray check back in. All knotted up. Smith, who's got 4 fouls. Ray, who's got 4 fouls. Will both come in for Bloom and Francois. DeBose misses the first free throw. 1 more to come. Ian has 7 points tonight. Eyes a bucket, comes up short. Nobody gets to the line more than Ian this year. He's been shooting him well lately from the free throw line, but misses 2 critical ones right there, and we're still knotted up. Rolling down to the 4:30 mark. Fans want some defense. Miles Smith with the dribble. Left side to Hale. Swing it around the arc. South left open for a 3, and he did not miss. Kareem South with back-to-back trays. He's got 11 now. The other way, the runner put up by Braxton Bonds. It won't go, but I think Ray has just fouled out of the ball game. It is on Sean Ray, and that's number 5. So Sean Ray has finished up his evening. And Schmidt will check back in. He's got 4 personals. So they've got Smith, Schmidt, and Kilgore with 4 fouls. Still 4:16 to go in this ballgame. Braxton Bonds. Comes up short on the free throw. 1 more to come. And he gets the second one. Dead solid perfect. It's a 2-point game. The Islanders have the lead, but they've got some serious foul trouble right now. They're running out of bodies to throw out there. Here's Kilgore, though, to the left baseline. Floats it up. Gets some good elevation on his jump shot, and he drops it down through. It's a 4-point game. 78-74. Lance Daniels, right to left, into the circle. Gives it back to DuBose, into the corner to Lynch Daniels. Tries a bounce pass into Ed Hart. Almost stolen away, but saved. Caraher runs it down. He's going to put up a jumper from the elbow and drains it. DC 5 with 22 now, and the Huskies are back to within 3.5 to go. And now the fans are up on their feet trying to implore their team to come up with a defensive stop here. Miles Smith way out top. Left angle to Kilgore. DuBose on him. He's going to put it on the floor and drives in. He'll draw the foul on DuBose. That'll be his 4th, and it stops the clock with 3:12 to go. It'll send Joe Kilgore to the line for 2 free throws. But first, a timeout on the floor. 78-76. A&M Corpus Christi with the lead on the Husky Sports Network.
You're listening to Love Advice with Leanne. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Leanne. Longtime listener, first-time caller. Why, in your professional opinion, do you never take my calls off the air?
Is this Carl?
Yep, it's Carl. I mean, we had a few dates. Everything was great. I thought,
Well, you know, when you switch to Geico, you could save a lot of money on car insurance.
Okay, awesome.
You should call them.
I will.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
At Raising Cane's, we know lots of people want the recipe for our delicious cane sauce, but we'll take the secret to our graves. You know, our founder, Todd Graves. He's the guy who figured out which blend of spices makes every drop of sauce totally tasty. Of course, it helps that our cane sauce is made fresh every single day, no matter what. And Todd's also the guy who won't spill a secret recipe. But you can dip in it all you like. Raising Cane's, one love.
Three minutes and 12 seconds to go in the season for your Huskies. Perhaps they're down by 2 right now. We saved the good stuff for the very end. Can they pull off a big win tonight here? Close out their season on a positive note. Spoil the season for A&M Corpus Christi. Kilgore with the first free throw, gets it to go. Hung on the iron for a moment, but drops down through. It's a 3-point game. Kilgore's second free throw is good as well. And it's a 4-point game now, 80-76. Schmidt is going to check out. Francois back out onto the floor for him. They don't want Schmidt to pick up that 5th foul with 3+ minutes to go. Bonds gives it off to Lynch Daniels. Left side out at the arc to Caraher. Hale on him. David drives into the elbow, puts up a jumper, won't go. The tip followed by Braxton Bonds. He's going to be fouled, and that's going to do it, I think, for Miles Smith. His 5th personal, and he is done. So now Ray and Schmidt have both fouled out. We've still got 2:59 to go, and Bonds with a pair of free throws here. Kelly Hunt puts a halt to the proceedings for a minute. Willis Wilson has a little extra time with Smith fouling out to determine who he wants to come in. He sends Bloom out onto the floor. Schmidt checks back in as well. Francois to the bench. So it's probably going to be offensive, defensive switches for Islanders the rest of the way. Schmidt out there when they've got the ball and try to get Francois in when they don't. And Bonds short on the first free throw. Huskies now at the line tonight have gotten 35 free throw attempts, but they're only 19 of 35 from the stripe. 20 of 36 as Bonds gets the second one. It's a 3-point game. 2:53 and counting. Huskies in a 2-3 zone, it looks like, this trip up the floor. Kilgore out top. They swing it around the arc, into the left corner to South. Back out to Kilgore. Lynch Daniels will pop out to pick him up. He gets a screen from Schmidt. He's going to try to drive in, floats it up, and he's called for a travel. Kilgore walks, turns it over, and here come the Huskies. Up the floor in a hurry. They're going to try to catch A&M Corpus Christi. Little lax of getting back. Here's DuBose. He's going to drive in, and we're going to get a foul on the floor as Dean trying to drive. It'll be free throws no matter what, but the foul's going to be on Schmidt, and that is his 5th. So now he is the third Islander to foul out of this ball game. And Francois will check back in. So Schmidt joins Ray and Smith. In the DQ column. And Caraher at the line for free throws. Finds the range with the first one. He had to put a little extra oomph on that one. But it's now back to a 2-point game. Second free throw rattles but won't stay down. Coach Cottrell across the way up off the bench with a deep breath and a long exhale. Exhorting his team to play some defense as they drop back. Man-to-man this time. South out top, picked up by Braxton Bonds. Puts it in the right hand, takes it in. Dishes back out on the wing to Kilgore. Down to 6 on the shot clock. Kilgore's going to fire away at a 3. And he got it. Big time shot for Joe Kilgore. Puts him up by 5. Here's Bonds. Throws it away on the baseline. Francois with the steal. 1:40 to go, and Kilgore is double teamed in the backcourt. And he tries to bring it in, and Lynch Daniels is going to be called for a foul. No, they're going to get Caraher for the personal. That's his third. And it'll send Kilgore to the line with 95 seconds to go. And he can make this a very difficult task for the Huskies. It'd be a 3-possession game if he gets both free throws here. First one is good. Joe Kilgore has 29 points to check at 30 now with that free throw. 30 points tonight in this ball game. He has been a one-man wrecking crew for the Islanders tonight. Trying to will them into the Southland Conference tournament. Gets the second free throw as well. Valiant effort by the Huskies. They had as much as a 15-point lead in the first half, but now need some points in bundles and in a hurry. Bonds down low to Hart. He puts it up off the window for 2. Coach Cottrell gets a timeout. The Huskies have 2 remaining with 1:23 to go. 30-second timeout, so we'll hang on to it right here with 1:23 left. A&M Corpus Christi trying to win to earn a 3-way tie for the 8th place position at 8 wins and 10 losses in the Southland Conference. By virtue of tiebreakers, they would earn the 8th seed in the tournament with a win here. Huskies have just gotten a bucket from Edward Hart. Ed's got 8 points now. They're down by 5, though. And they'll go to the full court pressure on the inbounds play. McKenzie is checked back in. Phillip goes to the baseline. Kilgore gets it to Hale. They trap in the corner. Back into the hands of Kilgore, and he has it stolen away by McKenzie. Take it in, lay it up and in for 2. It's back down to a 1-possession game, 82-85. Huskies down by 3. Kilgore up the floor, and he's going to be bumped, and they're going to get Caraher for the personal. His 4th now. You got to be careful, David. With 1:07 to go, they're going to keep it in the hands of Joe Kilgore. DeBose and Jalen Gates will check in after the first free throw from Kilgore. And it will not go. 85-82, 67 seconds left in this ball game. Hart and DeBose will flip-flop spots in the blocks before the second free throw. Gates and DeBose back out on the floor, and the second free throw is no good as well. 1:03 to go. Down by 3. The Huskies bring it up the floor. Braxton Bonds way out top. Directs traffic. Get it to Jalen Gates. He wanted a 3. Cut off by South, though. They go left side to DuBose. He drives it into the paint. Puts it up. Off glass and in for 2. And he will have a +1 opportunity. Timeout on the floor called by the Islanders. 30-second timeout, so we'll hang on to it right here. I'll say this for these guys this season. They have been undermanned at times, injuries, illnesses. There were a bunch of guys with a flu bug kind of swept through the Houston area back in December and early January. They were just unable to go because they were not healthy enough to play. But you have never seen these Huskies inexperienced, undermanned at times this season. You have never seen them quit in 40 minutes of play. Hasn't always been pretty, but it's been a growing experience. And the best thing, if you're an HBU fan, is you've got most of these guys back next year. Josh Ibarra will get a red shirt and be back as well. DuBose short on the free throw. It's still a 1-point game. It will not end easily. Here's a pass up the floor. Tipped by Caraher, but saved by Bloom. Takes it in. Blocked by McKenzie, but they're going to call Phillip for the foul, and the Worm draws the personal. Got a hand on the basketball, but got him with the body as well. And let's see, it's going to send Bloom to the free throw line. David Bloom at the stripe this season is 10 for 11. So he's an excellent free throw shooter. 11 for 12. Gets the first one to go. It's a 2-point game. 36.4 seconds. Lynch Daniels out. Jalen Gates in for the Huskies. Jay obviously a 3-point threat. Braxton Bonds talking to him. Bloom's second free throw is perfect. Willis Wilson wants a timeout to set his defense. It's a 3-point game with 36 ticks to go. Hang on to your hats, folks. Looking for win number 3 to end the conference season. Nichols lost tonight. Southeastern Louisiana with a win. Will wind up in a tie at the top of the standings. They're both going to finish 15-3 for the regular season. SFA just completed a victory tonight. They will finish up 14-4, one game behind those two teams. Sam Houston State lost to SFA, so they will drop to 12-6. Lamar and New Orleans finish 11-7. Central Arkansas and number 7 is 10-8. And then we await the outcome of this one to see who will be number 8. Bonds drives in, floats it up short, but Caraher with the rebound and the follow, put it up and in with 25 seconds to go. Back to a 1-point game. Kilgore in the backcourt. Gives it off to Smith. He gets it up to Hale. Hale into the forecourt, finds Kilgore down low, and he jams it down through for the bucket. 89-86, and this is going to be over and back on the Huskies as Jalen Gates, falling out of bounds, tried to save it back to Phillip McKenzie, but he had not established position in the forecourt. And with 11.5 seconds to go, it's going to give the ball back to the Islanders. 89-86. Huskies have just used up their last timeout. And it will be a full timeout with 11.5 to go. Catch your breath, folks. We're going to take the break. Come back to see how this one finishes up on the Huskies Sports Network.
You're listening to Love Advice with Leanne. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Leanne. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Why, in your professional opinion, do you never take my calls off the air?
Is this Carl?
Yep, it's Carl. I mean, we had a few dates. Everything was great. I thought,
Well, you know, when you switch to Geico, you could save a lot of money on car insurance.
Okay, awesome.
You should call them.
I will.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
At Raising Cane's, we know lots of people want the recipe for our delicious cane sauce. But we'll take the secret to our graves. You know, our founder, Todd Graves. He's the guy who figured out which blend of...
Bring it back to Sharp Jim here. We'll get back to our friends at Raising Cane's in a minute. But the inbounds pass goes up ahead to Kilgore. We got a whistle and a foul immediately called on Ian DeBose. And Ian just picked up his 5th foul. That's going to do it. 18/100ths of a second ticked off the clock. And it's going to send Kilgore to the line. Ian's still out there, but they're going to have to bring him out of the ball game. He finishes with 9 points tonight. Kilgore can make this a 2-possession ball game. Roland Simmons, Raymond Ships want to take a look at the monitor. We're not sure what this is about, but we will try to see. So they're looking at the inbounds play. I don't know if this is a timing issue. There's not much confusion, or shouldn't be, I don't think, much confusion about who the foul was on. They're looking at the clock. I think they're trying to decide if that 16/100ths of a second should have come off the clock. They're going to walk across the way and I think reset it back to... Nope, they're looks like going to leave it right where it is. Nope, they're going to go back to 11.53. Well, maybe I thought it was 11.23, but it will be 11.5 seconds. And Kilgore with free throws here to try and, in effect, salt this one away. He's been huge for them tonight. They've got 90. He's got 34 of them. 11 plus ticks to go. Second one is good as well. And now I think they are talking to the scorers table about what the clock shows. It shows 11.53. Now Coach Cottrell is over there at the scorers table. Tom Payne is out of the stands, one of the game coordinators here at HBU, Associate Athletic Director. He's at the scorers table now. And they are trying to get the clock corrected here. Now it's down to 11.00. You didn't want this season to end anyway, did you, folks? Huskies down by 5. Scoreboard here in the arena shows 90-86, but it's actually 91-86. Raymond Ships has noticed that the scoreboard is incorrect, as well as the time on the clock. Now, Ron Cottrell and Willis Wilson who have known each other for years. Back to the days when Coach Wilson was over at Rice. (91-86). They're going to leave it at 11.53 seconds to go. So the hullabaloo is all for nothing, and here come the Huskies up the floor in a hurry. Bonds going to fire down to the baseline. He's going to be bumped by Bloom. Stops the clock with 7.1 to go. And Braxton will go to the free throw line. Bonds gets the first free throw to go. (22 of 40 at the line tonight. Second one is no good. McKenzie is going to be called for a foul, trying to swat at the loose ball, and he goes up over the back of David Bloom. And the Huskies are going to come up short here. Bloom, an excellent free throw shooter, 2 for 2 tonight. He hadn't been to the line much this season, but he's been very good when he has been. And he can clinch this one and basically clinch a spot in the Southland Conference tournament for his team. This is the first one. It almost looked like he pushed that one off to the side on purpose. Guess it really doesn't matter. They're up by 2 possessions here. The second one is too strong. The rebound is tipped, and it's going to go out of bounds off the Huskies. Oliver Lynch-Daniels with the hustle play, trying to save it. But perhaps there's the Huskies' season in a microcosm right there. Good effort all the way to the end and just out of reach most of the time. They get the ball inbounds to Kilgore. He's fouled with 5.2 seconds to go, and Joe Kilgore will go to the line, and why not? He's got 34 points already. A&M Corpus Christi going to finish up 8-10, and they will be the 8th seed in the conference tournament, which starts next weekend. The Huskies will not be present. But folks, if you're an HBU fan, there are some good days ahead for this team. Second free throw is no good. Karaher clears the board. He'll bring it up the floor. He's going to fire a 3 from long range at the buzzer. Won't go, and that'll do it. The final tonight, Texas A&M Corpus Christi 92 and your HBU Huskies 87. Coaches and staffs meet across the way. And they will shake hands. And the season is over for your Huskies. They will finish up 2-16 in Southland Conference play, 6-25 for the year. Take a timeout. We'll come back and put a wrap on this one on the Huskies post-game report. We do want to let you know that this does conclude our simulcast of tonight's game. For our post-game show, including an interview with head coach Ron Cottrell, a post-game wrap-up, please jump over to the audio-only broadcast on HBUHuskies.com. For those of you leaving us for tonight, for this season, thank you so much for being a part of HBU Huskies basketball this year. Dogs up. Good night. We'll see you in 2018.
The real story is I'm in here every morning